We now come to the institution narrative. We're faithful to the words and command of Jesus. We take bread and wine and use the words of Jesus. This is my body. This is the chalice of my blood. The words that we find in the Gospels of Mark, Matthew, and Luke. As Catholics, we believe what Jesus said, that this is his body, this is his blood. John's Gospel doesn't carry an account of the institution of the Eucharist at the Last Supper. But in chapter 6 of John's Gospel, we hear Jesus talking about the bread of life that he will give. I tell you most solemnly, if you do not eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you will not have life in you. Anyone who does eat my flesh and drink my blood has eternal life, and I shall raise them up on the last day. The word translated as eat doesn't carry the depth of what Jesus was saying. A more literal translation from the original Greek would be gnaw. Jesus is being very graphic in what he's saying to us. For my flesh is real food, and my blood is real drink. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood lives in me, and I live in them. As I, who am sent by the living Father, myself draw life from the Father, so whoever eats me will draw life from me. And this is the great gift of the Eucharist, isn't it? That as Jesus receives life from the Father, so in the same way, by our sharing in his Eucharist, we share that same life. On my phone, I've got lots of photos of people I've met and places I've been. And when we look back at these photos, we remember a past event. But Jesus' Eucharist is again something different. We're not remembering something that just happened a long time ago. Jesus gave us his Eucharist in the Last Supper, and it was being celebrated within the context of the Passover meal. The Passover meal which remembered God saving the people of Israel from the slavery of Egypt, leading them through the Red Sea into the wilderness, the making of the covenant at Mount Sinai. Whenever Jews celebrate the Passover today, they do it with a Jewish mindset of remembrance. They're not remembering so much a past event. Rather, for the Jews, as they celebrate the Passover, it's as if the Passover is present. Time just disappears, and the past and the present become melded as one. And it's as if the people of Israel today are part of that people that experienced the salvation of God so long ago. So whenever we celebrate the Eucharist, that's the same mindset that we should have. It's as if we were there with Jesus at the Last Supper. It's as if we were there at the foot of the cross with Mary, the other woman, and the Apostle John. It's as if we were there at the opening of the tomb on that first Easter morning. We become living participants in Christ's mystery of salvation that he's worked for us. And the Eucharist, the one eternal sacrifice of Christ, is made present for us. It's as if time disappears and we are there in the midst of the action that is happening, the action that fills us with the very graces and blessings of what Christ has done for us.